Hello.
We're so far behind on YouTube videos.
We really are. I looked the other day and I made like a spreadsheet that I'm going to put in our thing so we can look and see.
I'm just going to start uploading mine out of order.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, guys. I don't know when.
It is what it is at this point. We'll let you know what episode number it is, but it is what it is.
It's not going to be in order.
Uh-oh.
Because I just can't now with anything.
No.
Hi.
Hey,
This is the Witches, Magic, Murder, Mystery Podcast.
I'm Kara.
I'm Megan. This isn't the way. I can see it. I can see it back there. We have, Kara set up our whole office all by herself. It's so cute. Everything looks so cute.
That's how I work, though, because I was supposed to be productive on other things yesterday, and I said,
I'm going to do this instead because it's more fun.
This is going to be dopamine, and that's not. So here we are.
I totally get it. Okay, I feel like I'm...
Just get cozy. Just get real cozy in your seat there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got to make sure we're close enough. We have our new mic set up.
But we don't have them set up.
There's just one thing we're missing. So maybe by the next episode, we'll have that. And then
we'll get it figured out.
Y'all back to normal. I know. I'm so excited.
It's so fun.
We've only been waiting for
a year.
I mean, Kara had a baby, okay?
It's fine.
She's been busy.
It's fine.
Okay, do we have anything we want to
spooky
talk
season
about? That's right. Do we want to read our ghost story at the beginning of the episode?
That's whatever.
We got a really fun, another Snail Mail ghost story.
So fun, guys.
And she also sent a Moth Man print.
Oh, that's amazing.
It is amazing.
Look at how cool this is.
If you're on the YouTube video, you can see it. Here, you might want to, it's a little closer. Yeah, it's awesome.
So fun. Oh my gosh. So we have this thing in Nicholasville called Spooky Time on Main.
Oh.
And it's where they have trick-or-treating on Main Street. And the dance studio that's up the street, they do the Thriller Parade twice during it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we're going to set up in front of the new coffee shop, even though it won't be completely ready yet. Listen, the plumber's almost done.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. So you're getting close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyways, I was looking for a costume to wear, but like an adult onesie because I want to be comfy. And I found a Moth Man one. So I think I need to get it.
We got an email from somebody who was trying to get Halloween costume ideas.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're going to be cryptids. And one of us is going to be a Mothman. And I need an idea for other cryptids. And I was like, all right.
We got you.
You caught me at the right time. So I sent all these ideas, which I hope, if you're listening, I hope that they were helpful. I don't know.
Yeah. Send us pictures.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the letter we got.
Oh my gosh. I love it when people write in cursive. It's so fun. Hello, beautiful people. I love listening to your podcast. I've gone through it twice and even painted my entire entryway while listening. Wow, that's productive. I have a quick ghost story for you. I live in a 100-year-old house. Whoever is here is just looking out for me. Whenever I have my bedside lamp on too long, reading or scrolling my phone, they turn it off for me. Sometimes it won't come back on for days or weeks at a time. It happens 2 to 3 times a week. I guess I need to sleep.
Oh, that's so nice. So you have a nice little caretaker ghost. Yeah.
I found this
print.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
The Mothman print.
Oh, yeah. I was like, that's not an H. I found this print from one of my favorite artists, Dan Sinaway.
I think so.
Of After Dark illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
Illustrations. I knew you needed it. If you're ever traveling north of Pittsburgh, I'll take you to my favorite local, very haunted coffee shop. April, I want to have a haunted coffee shop. No, I don't know that I do.
We do have a haunted coffee shop.
We do.
Not we, really. I just
you
claim it partially.
But I want it to be haunted if they're going to make their own beverages. That'll be fun. What if we have a ghost barista?
That'd be so great. And you don't get to choose your own drink. It's just whatever the ghost decides, you get to have that drink. Yeah. Don't be picky. You get what you get. You don't throw a fit.
Okay, well, we are now going to make that a thing. The ghost chose this as our special today.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to name it Evangeline.
Mm-hmm.
Does she follow
the Evangeline Special?
Mm-hmm.
She sure did. Do you not remember all the things that were happening in this room before it flooded?
This is true. This is true. Yeah.
It's so weird.
Look at us brainstorming during our podcast. Thanks, April.
Yeah. I got a message the other day from a friend of mine where she was like, have you ever saged a house? And so then we had to have a conversation about saging and all that. But she was having some weird ghosty type things going on in her house.
And she didn't like it.
Well, it's just that it's creeping out her kids.
Oh.
But she thinks it might be her grandmother.
Oh.
And do you remember, it's been a few years ago, where I had several small things happen kind of at once that seemed like my grandmother. Yeah. And I was like, listen, I don't know if you want to do any kind of smoke cleansing here because if it's your grandmother, you might not want her to be gone. And so what I did at the time is I just sort of talked to her. Yeah. And I was like, hey, I love that you're here. Yeah. Like it's great. Yeah, that's great with me. I just don't want to be scared. Yeah. Just don't do anything scary. Yeah. Yeah. And it stopped. Yeah. I was like, so maybe just do that. And so I'm just sharing this story in case, I don't know, I feel like it's something to share every now and then if you have stuff going on that's scaring you, but you think it might be like a friendly ghost, like our little Evangeline. Yeah. You can just talk. You don't have to do any big thing. Just let it know. Like you're kind of creeping me out because maybe they don't know. Maybe they're not meaning to creep you out.
Yeah. I have a friend one time who their mom passed away when they were a teenager. And about a year and a half ago, they were waking up like 3 a.m. every morning and just laying there, not able to sleep. And they would hear sounds. And there was a black cat that would come sit on their porch. And I was like, listen, I don't know. Maybe it is mom trying to like talk to you. Like maybe just when you are laying there, just say, you know, I'm here to listen. Like what do you're clearly trying to tell me something, like what's going on? And then they said they had a dream after doing that their mom was sitting on the bedside talking to them. So I was like, see?
Oh, yeah. 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 I mean, I feel like, especially if it's a family member, they're probably not trying to scare you. And they probably have no idea that they are. Yeah. I think obviously, we can only understand what.
Oh, that door's not closed all the way.
What? Oh, that door? I was like, what was that?
Door? That was a big vehicle. The sounds of Nicholasville.
We can only understand what our human brains are capable of, right? Like we're only aware of the possibilities that we're aware of. So, who knows? Like we don't know what if ghosts are real, I'll go ahead and be open to the possibility that they are or that they aren't. But I don't think that they would maybe they don't always mean to be scary. Yeah. But I'll go ahead.
There are some entities that do.
There are definitely some people that I fully intend to come back and haunt if I'm given the option. But if it were me.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I wouldn't want to scare Lauren or Ella or their kids. Or,
no. Or what if the ghost just like bumped into something and like knocked it over and was like,
I would be the clumsiest ghost. Yeah. I'd be like, shoot.
Sorry. Go back to sleep. I just wanted to see you real quick.
I'm smelling your hair. It's okay. You look so cute, though.
I like it when you sleep. You're real peaceful.
I didn't mean to be creepy.
I don't sleep anymore, so I'm just bored.
Yeah, I'm bored to death over here.
I finished your puzzle.
Lauren will be like, oh my God, Mom.
You'd be like, I finished the puzzle. I packed your lunch. And it's like an empty lunchbox because you can't grab the things.
The puzzle terrible at being ghosts. Okay, so this is all fitting because I'm doing a magic episode today.
Fun.
I went back and looked. We've only done like 11 magic episodes on the regular feed. Isn't that weird?
Oh, we do them all the time on the Patreon.
Well, I feel like we do talk more, but maybe I don't know. It just seems like we talk more magic on the Patreon.
But also, that's what they get to vote.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe because they're not hearing it on the regular feed, they vote for it.
Like, please do more magic. If you're a Patreon or a Spotify subscriber, Kara just did a magic episode last month. So if you're not caught up over there, you might want to skip ahead and just listen to that one because it's like time sensitive. It's like about fall magic. Yeah. So of course we're coming up on Samhain, and I already did a pretty in-depth episode on that last year. It's episode 191 here on the regular feed. So that's not what I'm going to talk about today, even though you would think that's what I was going to talk about because the time of year, that's not it. If you're looking for the history of Samhain, its influence on Halloween, and ideas for how you might celebrate it, or just little ways you can incorporate a little witchiness into your standard Halloween celebrations, check out episode 191. It's all in there.
That just gave me an idea.
What?
I think that there's a little tree out in front of the coffee shop. I'm going to tie candy bars
Oh,
to it.
yeah. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
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 There's a whole lot of ways. Actually, there's probably a whole lot of ways that you're already doing some witchy things for Halloween that you don't even realize are Samhain related.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a cool, if you don't know the history of it and you haven't listened to episode 191 yet, I would skip ahead and listen to it. It's the right time of year for it. Okay. So this is an episode that I personally needed, and I was already starting to kind of read about it myself. So I was like, while I'm doing it, we might as well just share it with all of us. So in our part of the world, we're settling into autumn, which is objectively the best season. And I will be hearing no arguments and taking no further questions on the matter. I read a few books for this episode. One is a book that I've talked about several times. I know a few of you have messaged me about it because you bought it too. The Seasonal Soul, A Mystic's Guide to Inner Transformation by Lauren Aletta. Also, A Witch for Every Season by Rachel Patterson. And then this book, Witchcraft Therapy by Mandi, M-E-M. So I'm going to pull that up again later. So I brought it with me.
Fun.
Okay. So one Anglo-Saxon word for October was Winterfilth.
Ooh, I like that.
I know. Which means winter filling, meaning preparing for the coming of winter. So summer is bright and energetic, and there's a lot of movement. But as we ease into autumn, things begin to slow down. Things get darker. Colors,
oh my gosh,
literally begin to fade.
It's so wild thinking about how quickly it gets dark outside now.
I know. Well, I just can't believe it's already October 18th.
I know.
So, at least on the day we're recording this.
Yeah.
It's like we have these cues from nature telling us to chill out and take a break. But then we live in this world that does not encourage us to take a break at all. And that goes against this natural cycle. And I, as an expert on everything,
right.
I'm convinced that this is why so many of us suffer from seasonal depression.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You're supposed to take a break right now.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be productive and accomplishing as much as you were a few months ago.
Yeah.
But you're still under all the same pressures as you were. So now you feel bad about it.
Yeah, you can't rest. It's like, oh, but I have too many things to do. You feel guilty about it. Yeah.
But everything around you is telling you to stop, and you can't. So I know I've talked about this before, but I like to remind all of us whenever I can, because I love you. It is completely normal to feel a change in your energy, outlook, and interest in life right now. So I'm quoting this straight from the Seasonal Soul. You begin to notice you're not as passionately or curiously engaged or driven in the activities you have created and involved yourself over the previous seasonal phases. Your work, I know. You're like, oh.
I feel really seen right now.
I know.
I literally just said yesterday, like, I do not feel creative. Like, I am so bored with all of the stuff that I am doing currently, like with the coffee shop.
And
like,
there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
This is just normal.
Yeah.
Your work or business leaves you feeling flat or like you're pushing a boulder uphill. There's a stagnancy within your relationships. Autumn is the gentle cooling of you.
Oh.
I know. It's where you're being internally prompted to take a step back from the busyness of your life to check in and reevaluate. Are you still aligned to the truth of you? So I know I've talked about this in past episodes when we've gotten on the topic of magic and everything, but the whole thing of autopilot and how I'm always like, stop being on autopilot. Because that's just it. Like you're in work mode and you're planning all these things for the coffee shop. And that's just one example. We all get on autopilot with our jobs and families and just life. We're doing the same things day after day after day. And autumn is like this thing that kicks in that's like, stop for a minute.
Just quit.
Are you living the life you want to live? Are you doing the thing? Like you're doing
what
this.
What are you doing in this moment? Yeah.
Right. Is this what you want to be doing with your life? Is this how you want to be living your life? Like this is this internal thing that's like telling you to like, for just a minute.
Mother Nature is like,
stop. Right. You get one life, one precious life. Are you doing what you want to be doing with it? So instead of noticing this change, this like slowing down and beating yourself up over it, wondering why you're not as productive, pushing yourself to get back to that like sunny summer energy. Like instead of being mad at yourself for feeling a little down, let's change our perspective and self-talk. There's nothing wrong with you. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're slowing down for a reason, even if you didn't know yet what that reason was. Now you do. It's so you'd have time to honor this season of your life.
Right.
So that's the pep talk I think I've given on this podcast every year around this time.
But we love it and we're here for it and we need it.
Right. Because I forget it every year.
Right.
It sneaks up on me and I end up feeling down. And then I'm like, oh, that's right. I'm supposed to right now. You
start feeling like you're in that funk and you're like, what is wrong? Like, why do I not need to be doing this? Like, what am I not good at this? Do I not?
I think it's always easier to believe the bad thing.
The negative.
It's always easier to believe like, oh,
yeah, it's me.
There's something wrong.
The problem.
Yeah. I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the pep talk, right? But here's the part I don't think we've ever really talked about because I don't know that I've ever really dug into this myself. Autumn is supposed to be a little uncomfortable. Like that question I just brought up. Is this how you want to live your life? Like that's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah. Like, whoa.
Like,
don't come at me.
I think we all have a tendency to be like, oh, there's a negative emotion. Let me fix that.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that I want any of us to pack up and dwell in negativity, but I also don't want you to be like fake happy either.
Right.
That whole toxic positivity, like, oh no, everything's great. I love my life. And like force happiness if you're not. Right. Autumn is for reflection. It's for paying attention to your intuition, looking at yourself and your life and listening to your gut when it tells you that an activity, a person, or a place is no longer right for you.
That's wild. I literally just had that talk with Sophie.
Oh, I love it.
I know.
So when we take away the busyness of summer, we have the time and the space to be able to quiet down and listen to that little voice inside that tells us, hey, here's what's working. Here's what's not working. Here's what's good for you. And here's what isn't.
Yep.
But of course, change is hard. And having to take that really deep look at yourself and get a little critical and real with yourself, that's not easy.
Right.
So autumn is the best season.
Nicholasville. Stop it.
But it's also possibly the one that brings the most discomfort. That's why, nature made it so pretty out there and it gave you all the best clothes to wear
and because it's
and the best food to make because it's going to be real uncomfortable. So it's cozy. Right. Okay. So how do we get started here? This is where the magic stuff comes in. I tried to find like some things that we can do to help with this part. Okay. So first, commit to slowing down. Kara. Figure out what you can drop from your routines to make space for this rest and reflection that you're supposed to be doing right now.
Or also, in my brain, create a routine to where your current routine isn't so chaotic. I was thinking about that, just like making time blocks for certain things so I have more time for me.
But to do that might involve having to let some things go.
Right. Yeah.
And if that means actually like saying no to some things or delegating some tasks. Right. If you have kids that can do some of the things, like if your kids are getting to the age where they can clean up after themselves or do some dishes or do some laundry or whatever. If you have partners who can take over some things. Yeah. Or if there are just some things that you can let go.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Or
just let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then actually commit to leaving that space for rest and reflection. I know this is going to be easier for some of us than others, but even if it's just turning the radio off on your drive to work so you can take a little time to focus on yourself rather than zone out on autopilot.
Yeah.
If you can find 5 minutes in the morning or the evening or on your lunch break to meditate, that's even better. If meditation isn't your thing, I love journaling, or pull an oracle card or a tarot card every morning. And if you don't have time to do it every morning, just pull one when you can. Don't fall into the trap of like, I have to do this in a certain way or it's not worth doing at all.
Yeah. Or it's not going to work.
Yeah. You're doing this for yourself. There's no wrong way.
Yeah, do it your way.
If you're like, I don't like this witchy stuff, cool. That's fine. Talk to someone. Like, you don't have to call it witchy.
There's
you can just
BetterHelp.
Right. You can talk to someone. It needs to be someone you trust who will help you sort through your thoughts. Someone who knows you really well, who will call you out. Maybe that's a therapist.
Right.
BetterHelp. or a best friend or a sibling.
Yeah.
I know sometimes just talking things through helps me sort through my thoughts and like realize things that I wouldn't have realized if I hadn't said them out loud.
Different, fresh perspective.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I think is an easy beneficial practice for everyone or ever. Yeah. A beneficial practice for everyone is to get into the habit of spending 5 to 10 minutes a day grounding yourself. So grounding yourself is the act of participating in a healing energy exchange with the earth. And I know that sounds...
Oh, this is my favorite thing
all
to do.
woo-woo, but like there's a lot of science behind it.
Yep.
You can go look it up if you don't believe in it, but you should believe in it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as stepping outside barefoot and just putting your feet in the grass.
Yep.
So here's
leaves.
Yeah. Here's a quick grounding and centering exercise that I pulled from the book Witchcraft Therapy. You can check the show notes for all of my sources.
Yeah.
I highly recommend this book, Witchcraft Therapy, by the way. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first, find a safe, quiet place outside. If you don't have access to outdoor space, just do it in your living space. And if you have houseplants, you can be in a room with the houseplants. If you don't have any plants, just try to hold on to something that came from outside that you picked up like on a walk, like a stick or a rock or something, just something natural. But if you're outside, sit down and place your bare feet and palms on the ground. And if you're inside, just sit on the floor cross-legged. Like we're not doing anything that's like...
Yeah, you're not pouring salt around yourselves and you're not drawing chalk formations.
Right. So start doing some deep breathing and visualize a small seed of light in the core of your body. And as you breathe, imagine that seed growing roots that branch out through your body, traveling down through your arms and legs and through your palms and the soles of your feet and into the ground. And if you're indoors, just imagine it going down through the floor. With each exhale, visualize the negative energy from the seed flowing into the ground where it's cleansed. And if you're indoors, just imagine that energy flowing into the plants or into that natural object that you're holding. And then as you inhale again, visualize the cleansed energy as white light that you pull back up into yourself through the roots of the seed. So then you just repeat those steps and you're inhaling and exhaling and you're like seeing yourself as forming a loop with the earth. It is essentially acting as a filter for the energy.
And listen, you love trees so much and I love learning about trees too. And it's just when there are unhealthy trees, they will send nutrients through their root system to that unhealthy tree. So that's what it's doing with you.
There's a podcast called Radio Lab.
Love it.
Episode called From Tree to Shining Tree that talks about how trees communicate with each other. That talks about that very thing. Like even if they're not the same type of tree, they take care of each other. It is the best episode.
Take deeper root.
I have sent that episode to people who like, I hardly know. I'm like, listen, do you like trees?
Hey, I know I just met you and you're shopping right now, but I got this tree story.
But you mentioned that you might like trees. Here, you should listen to it.
I overheard
it's
you
like
say
10
you like
years
this
old.
tree on this shirt and I need you to
so much.
Yeah.
So the earth is basically acting as a filter for the energy. It is taking the negative energy from you, cleansing it and cycling it back through. And you're just visualizing this cycle. And then you stop when you feel energetically aligned.
Yeah.
If you're on the Patreon, I'm going to do a post with some journal prompts and tarot spreads and anything else that I can find to help you with this like self-reflection. So be on the lookout for that. It may take you all of autumn to get in touch with your intuition, or you might start the season with like a whole list of things that you want to work on. You might right now be like, oh, I already know.
Yeah,
I know exactly what I need to do. But give yourself the whole season to really reflect and think about what needs work and what you're ready for and why. Remember, the whole point here is the slowness. We're supposed to reflect and analyze and explore because we're heading into winter, which is where you let things die that need to die. So we have all of autumn to prepare to let go.
Right.
So now for the letting go. So like I said, I've got a few things for that too. So we're heading into winter. So for now, for this season, let's focus on making our home a really lovely, cozy place to be because winter is tough for a lot of reasons. And we'll talk about that
like
in a future episode.
Yeah.
Yes. So you can spend some time now preparing your home to make it like a nice, cozy place to get through the darkness of the upcoming season that we know is coming. Plus, the cleaning and decluttering is another great way to raise the vibration of your living space, and it gives your brain a break. So it's kind of an accidental meditation. There's science behind this too, and I think I've talked about it before, where if you do these routine, mindless tasks like cleaning and folding and decluttering, it allows certain parts of your brain to rest, and it's a really good for the creative parts of your brain. It's the same reason why you'll have these like great creative breakthroughs in the shower. It's because showers are so routine, plus the white noise of the shower. It puts certain parts of your brain like on hold.
It's just like that muscle,
and it wakes up
others.
Doing
what you're supposed to be doing in the shower, and then
the same goes for those routine cleaning tasks. So I'm not just telling you to clean because I'm like a bossy clean freak. Organizing is good for your brain, and it's weirdly meditative. So now, when you're ready to let some things go, when you know the thing that needs to be gone from your life, whether it's a person or a habit or a situation, I found a few rituals that might come in handy.
Fun.
So we're about to get witchy. Perfect. If you're not into that, you can just withhold your judgment right now.
Just skip ahead.
So the first is a letting go ritual. You'll need a pen, paper, matches, and a fireproof bowl or a saucepan. If you are a child, do not do this without a parent.
Right.
If you're a child, why are you listening to this podcast? On the piece of paper, write down what it is that you want to let go of.
Nicholasville is busy today.
I know. On the piece of paper, write down what it is that you want to let go of, and then light the piece of paper on fire. And while it burns, say the following.
There's some big trucks out there this morning.
And while it burns, say the following. With gratitude and with love and compassion for all involved, I let it go. Then take a few minutes and visualize the problem leaving you and creating a new space within you, waiting to be filled with something new and happy and good for you. I love that last part so much. Like that bad thing is gone, and now there is space for something new.
Right. It's not like you're empty. It's not like there's a hole there. It's just
waiting for a good thing.
Yeah.
And then another thing you can try is a freezer spell. This one is specifically for a person that you need to freeze out of your life to cut off their access to you. You write their name on a piece of paper, fold it away from you 3 times, and then put the paper in a container or a bag of water. And then you put that in the back of your freezer and you forget about it. Make sure the piece of paper stays completely submerged while it freezes, and visualize the negative energies being frozen, unable to harm you. Unable to harm you.
That one's a fun one to do.
I know. Okay, one last spell, because this one is probably the one I need the most. It's a spell for establishing healthy boundaries, because maybe, when we talk about letting go, like when we talk about knowing what we need to let go of, part of being able to let go of something also means having the strength to not let that thing come back into our lives, right? So
and giving yourself that permission.
We need those healthy boundaries. And so I found in witchcraft therapy again, this tea.
Ooh.
It's a spell for establishing healthy boundaries. Okay. So you need a teaspoon of dried chamomile flowers, a teaspoon of dried rose petals, 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried peppermint leaves, hot water, a teaspoon of honey, and salt.
Okay.
So you make a protective self-love tea by putting the chamomile, rose, and peppermint into a tea steeper and submerging in a mug of hot water.
Listen, I'm not drinking that. I'm putting it in my bath so I get it all over me.
And then you add the honey, stirring in a clockwise direction while stating, "Sweeten my resolve to speak my boundaries into action." Here's the real witchiness.
Love it.
Sprinkle the salt, there you go, in a large diamond shape on the floor, large enough for you to fit inside, and then sit or stand within the diamond to drink your tea.
I love it.
Chant or mentally recite affirmations about setting your boundaries, such as "I am strong" or "I am capable," whatever works for you. Gas up yourself enough to truly have the strength and confidence to set and enforce boundaries so you feel safe and protected.
Cute. I mean, you could do that in the bathtub too with Epsom salt. You could draw it out first and then add your water and your ingredients.
And if you're not comfortable with the witchy part, you can just do the affirmations.
Yeah.
You can wake up every morning and be like, "I am strong. I can do this.
Yeah.
I deserve better." Yeah. I can say no.
Yep.
So that's it. That wraps up this little magic episode. Yeah. I just felt like I was researching some of this stuff for myself, and I was like, you know what?
I got to share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just a few thoughts on where we are in the wheel of the year and what that might mean for us energetically and how you might be feeling and some of the things you can do about it if you're so inclined. So.
How fun.
Yeah. I love magic episodes. Yeah. I don't know why.
Why don't we do these more often?
I know. So that's it, you guys. I hope it's helpful.
Yeah.
I hope this stuff is useful for you all.
Let us know what you all do too.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about it. Feel free to chat in the Facebook group if you all do any of these things, or if you have any of your own suggestions.
Right.
Okay. We love you
so much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.